Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another one of my shorties. This time we're going to be looking at some Aji. You know, lately, if you've been attending my streams, some of my recent lectures, I'm really interested in this idea of Aji. It seems like everyone is really captured with the whole notion of, what is Aji, how do you see Aji, how does Aji affect anything in the game at all. Even another maker of fine Go videos, Nick Sabicki, tried to get his audience to see Aji with like this little, what was he called? Aji Vision, that's what it was. So we're all really taken with the idea of understanding Aji. And this little short little game, I want to show you a very interesting position where a player, Shinjinso, able to use Aji amazingly well. And maybe you'll have a better sense of why Aji is important, throughout the game. So let's jump right in. The game starts fairly normally. Shin is white in this particular game against a, a professional 9-dan. There we go. So fairly good game. But only notable thing about the game is how it opens. It opens up, as we've been going over lately, with the micro shoot. It opened up not doing that. It opened up with the micro Chinese Fuseki, as we see here. And white immediately approaches. And from here, we get an interesting situation. Now, it should bear going over very briefly that obviously white's not going to approach here because of the pincer. You could try to do something here, but chances are you're going to give a pincer to, or an enclosure to your opponent, as well as maybe a second enclosure up here if they just respond, right? If they do this, they might be able to do something like this, and then you could do this, followed by, a defense, and then maybe another enclosure. So we're getting 2 enclosures, extensions to our opponent immediately. Not the greatest situation in the history of ever. So usually against this board, we usually just approach as we see here. Nothing unusual there, but from here, oh my god, something unusual comes about. So as you can see on this particular board, the game quickly goes into a position where white is just living in the corner, pretty much 2 corners nicely under his belt, but black's, actually no, this is slightly off, I'm sorry, this should be here. But black's framework is immediately noticeable. I mean, he's trying to build up this, he's trying to build up over here. Very wide areas. This is where we know we're probably going to have to use Aji of some sort if we're going to come back into this game, because we can't just be like, okay, it's fine, that's just going to be his, no big deal, right? This, and whatever this happens to be, is probably not going to be able to equal, all of that if we just give it to our opponent. So that's where this game should be going. But is that where this game is going? No, this game takes a turn where instead of, trying to further solidify anything that's over here, black decides to say, you know what, not only am I going to try to make a very large area on the right side of the board, I'm going to try to make a very large area on the bottom side of the board, not by getting into anything complicated. No. I'm just going to try to build, and by doing so, this is a bad analogy because I do not play chess in any way, shape, or form, but I kind of think that if I did play chess, I'd kind of like view this as kind of trying to put your opponent in check, like immediately in the very beginning of the game. It's like, look, I win, okay, look, I'm just gonna win now, that's all it is. Look at this, look at that. Clearly, you're screwed, I'm gonna win. But the problem with looking at this, and this, is you can see your opponent's not trying to defend anything. Your opponent just kind of tried to build over here. There's like huge gaps everywhere. This kind of thing is just pushing it all onto our opponent. My opponent's going to figure out what to do here. I'm not. Like, just let him figure it all out. And sure enough, white does come up with something that a lot of us probably wouldn't even consider playing. Before I go and ruin the surprise, is there anywhere on this board that you yourself would want to play? Now, feel free to pause the video, see what you come up with on your own, because this answer is insane. So apparently the first thing that went through White's mind is noticing that this is a very, 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 very large area. He doesn't defend because that is a little bit defeatist, and I don't even know what we do on this board. And this is growing large. That's going crazy. We have this, and this is probably not... So he ruled out playing slowly. Instead, he looks at this area and apparently thinks to himself, you know what? It's a pretty big area. Maybe I can even live in there. And he goes to the shape points. This is what we're referring to when we're saying using Aji. It's like everyone knows this shape. But our opponent didn't like protect the shape, didn't even like play something here or here to try to do something in protecting and like the weak points that are there. It's like, no, I'm just gonna go for as much as I can, leave it all on my opponent to figure out, is there Aji back there? Can you exploit it? Good luck, buddy. So yeah, first move, poking that shape. What does Black do? Black decides that he's going to try to kill, enclose everything. Cuts. The cut is actually kind of amazing. Take a look what happens if we Atari from above. We immediately have the option to sacrifice this, if we so wish, right? We can be like, that sacrificed. We could even play here, threatening to connect underneath. Our opponent's got to block that too. Can kick over here, make that over concentrated. Suddenly the large area that we were afraid of. We kind of pity Black. It's like, dude, that just wasn't worth it, man. I don't know what you were trying to do there, but that just was not worth it. So Atari down, not a good idea. So instead, what we need to do here is figure out something else to do. Yeah. Could Atari here, but that kind of threatens an Atari out, so that's Sente, and then there's like pushes and extends, and there's threats. So Atari seems bad, so Black just strengthens himself. Okay, seems like a fine first move. Pokes, get a solid defense. No follow-up against this group, for example, which would allow us to go underneath. He's like, nope, area's fine, no problems. The attachment says otherwise. Now we're trying to maximize our liberties. Why are we trying to maximize our liberties? Because this doesn't look like it can live locally. So that's interesting. That's interesting. Plus you have small knights here. Got a weak point there. A lot of stuff going on right now. Black says fine. No more weak point there. White says, great, I wanted my liberties anyway. Black extends. Going back and seeing what this is all about. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Quite a few liberties. How many does Black have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's close. It's close, it's close, 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 close. Black says, can I have your stone for free? White says, no. No, you cannot. He's like, alright, I need to protect myself then. Extends, gives us more liberties. Why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? Black plays the Atari, which is a little bit strange. Because when White connect, as we see here, we have the Atari, then we have the Hane, which would lead into a cut, so we know that this is not something that we can actually play, and we're getting rid of our liberty. That actually surprised me, but then again, I'm not a professional. Obvious move, have to connect. We're slowly getting life here, that's bad for black. Can I Atari my way to freedom? Apparently not. Can I push and cut? Keep in mind, we're losing liberties here fast. Now we're in a capture race. I kind of just gave away the first move in the capture race. But this is something that you should actually pay attention to yourself, and another good place to stop the video and see if you know how to deal with this and the Aji in the corner. See if you can read out the pushing and the cuts, seeing if you can read out the Hane, how many liberties we have on the outside, all of this good stuff. This is a very, very interesting, though probably a bit of a high level Go life and death problem. We have the Hane. Black responds. We can see exactly how many liberties we have. These liberties are not doing very well, Captain. Black says it's time to leave. Connects, figuring that white will block immediately, then we can play I don't know, what would we play? Block immediately and then play here? Then we've got two things to take. But white Atari first, really, really big move. Because if we connect, we Atari here, we take, and then we're really, really in trouble. So let's maximize our eyes, or our Aji rather, creating cut points as we see here. Tries to kill. Denied. Finally get the connect. Black says, or white says Atari. Black says take. White connects, so we don't even have an eye here yet. Black says, well, what if I try to kill you? White brazenly connects because the Atari means instant death. Only thing that black can do against it is to make certain that that's not really a problem. Now if we connect here, if we fill that liberty, black's taking this one and then we still only have the two liberties. That's a problem. So we're forced to take the stone. Atari. Connect. Tries to go to to save himself, because right now if we push here, and white takes, and we Atari here, we get to Atari this. If this extends up, we match it. And if we have an eye here, and this one doesn't, then this is still dead. Right? So now we're trying to start a to live. With one minor exception. Have you ever played that game where... One second. Sorry. Forgot. Take. There we go. Have you ever played that game, right? That lovely, lovely game where you realized that the ko you were fighting for wasn't a real ko? Haven't we all been there? I mean, really, haven't every last one of us played that game? Well, imagine playing this against one of the top rising stars in Korea, quite a bit younger than you, still only a 3-dan. Don't expect to make that kind of mistake there, do you? White plays the Atari. I hope the delay let you see it for yourself, but you can see the problem now. Can't you? If we take, which we could, then we're going to connect. Right? We can't play here. We can't play here. We can't even play here until this is taken. So we have to take now. That gets taken. And we're dead. Dead. Black's dead. Because we can't get rid of this. We can't get rid of this. There are 3 liberties here, so we can reduce another by throwing in or playing on the outside, but white can still put us in Atari. So we played really, really greedy on the outside. We played really, really greedy on the bottom. And white's like, there's a shape point there. What if I poke it? And black's like, well, if you poke it, I'm just gonna die. That's my plan there. Black has to resign the game. Fast framework. Fast framework. Shape problem. That is Aji for you, ladies and gentlemen. That is Aji. That's why we do life and death problems. So we can begin seeing Aji. They are so important, as we just saw here. Crazy game. 1 fight, over and done. Game over. 3-dan rising star Korean player. 9-dan Korean veteran. Very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. Can't wait to see more out of this guy. Hope you enjoyed the game, and I'll see you next time. Take care, everyone.